How important is herpes? No, I'm being serious. If you had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being it consumes every minute of my waking existence, and 1 being not a big deal at all, life is the same as it was before, where would you rate your diagnosis? Because when it comes to herpes, the amount of importance you put on it is either going to make you or break you. Let me explain more. As soon as I started minimizing the amount of significance and looking at my status as a neutral thing, life became effortless. So here's a couple tips I'm going to share that are going to help you reduce that significance so you can do it as well. Firstly, detach from the herpes stigma. It's actually not an objective reality, or even true. It's a collective belief system that is based on misinformation and fear-mongering and trying to sell pharmaceutical drugs and outdated just versions of how we should live our sex life, or even the risks that apply. And as soon as I started realizing that someone else's reaction to me was not actually to me, it was to the herpes stigma, which now exists externally of me, I stopped taking things so personally. I now view my diagnosis simply as a common virus that I got through sex, and everyone else seems to be at risk as well, which is the next thing. I backed myself with facts that made me realize I'm not the only person with herpes, and I'm certainly not the only person that should be disclosing. I think something like more than half the world's population has either herpes here, that's a cold sore, that's herpes, or herpes down there. And that should all be disclosed. So when I approach partners and I disclose my status, it's coming from a, isn't the majority of people doing this? Instead of a, I hope you please be with me. The third thing I did was embody the habits, actions, beliefs of the version of me post-diagnosis that is thriving. We're always fighting against the negative version of ourselves and don't realize we can just step into a different version. So I started telling myself positive beliefs instead of limiting ones. I started trying to date because that's what that version of me would do. I started thinking about herpes as a common virus and disclosure as a mutual conversation between two partners because that's what that version of me would do. Now, if you're still struggling with your diagnosis and want some help fast-tracking that process, click the link in my bio. I'll reach out to you personally. You don't have to stay stuck.